Interview starting Sunday, March 15th, 10:30 a.m. Mr. Carter, can you tell me where you were on Friday night?
I've told you. I've told you a dozen times, and you think I'm mad. Maybe I am mad. I can only tell you what I know, and I've already told you.
Would you please speak into the microphone and tell me again? Where were you on Friday night? Where is Miss Holly Warren?
I've told you. I don't know what happened to Holly. She's dead. I think. At least I hope she is.
And did you kill Miss Warren?
No! Fuck no! I would never have hurt her. If I'd only known, I wouldn't have let any of this happen.
Right. Mr. Carter, what was your relationship with Miss Warren?
Holly was my friend. She was my best friend. We met in Trinity and we shared a lot in common. She was my absolute best friend. And nothing more. I know what you're trying to imply. She was my friend and my colleague and nothing more.
An eyewitness says they saw you getting into a vehicle with Miss Warren on Friday night at around 9 p.m. at the northbound service station in Cabinteely. They said you were carrying several large bags and some sort of digging equipment. Could you explain this, please?
Well, if your eyewitness says so, then I guess it's probably true. I don't know. My memory is... It's patchy, but it makes sense that we would have met there. And it makes sense I was carrying things as well. I know I had my laptop with me. And we would have needed shovels. For what we did. For that horrible thing we did.
What was it that you did?
I've told you. I've told you a dozen times. I've told you where it happened, and you tell me no such place exists. Maybe I'm mad. Maybe this is all a nightmare. If only this was a fucking nightmare. I can only tell you what I know, and I've already fucking told you!
Mr. Carter! Sit down! I'm not bringing in the on-call doctor again. Tell me again. Start at the beginning, please.
As I've told you, I met Holly in college. She was studying history, and I was studying English, and we both shared a fascination with the occult and the paranormal. Holly was obsessed. She had this incredible collection of ancient books, relics from all over the world, desert-dried papyrus. I couldn't read half of them, but Holly studied like she was possessed. She learned 4 new languages in the time we were in college. 2 of them aren't even spoken anymore. She was amazing. And then it all went to shit. She got that new book, the one that informed her plan for Friday. I have no idea where she got it. I don't know what was in it. She wouldn't let me near it. I didn't want to go near it. It was gross. It was unsettling. It had this leather cover. It was too fleshy. It was moist. It made the hair stand up on the back of my neck just looking at it. But Holly loved it. I mean, she wouldn't let it out of her sight. She was always clutching it and running her fingers along it, stroking its spine. It was unsettling. But that was nothing compared to the look she'd get in her face after reading it. It was dark and intense. It frightened me.
Oh, you were scared of her?
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, it was just odd, okay? I'm not scared of her. Not anymore. I'm terrified for her.
Okay. You said she had some sort of a plan for Friday night. What was that plan?
I don't know. You'd have to ask her. I didn't know what we were doing. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Miss Warren's car was found abandoned at the Jamestown Woods car park. Some personal effects of yours were in the car. Why were you parked there?
I don't know. I can't. I don't understand what's happening.
Okay. Just tell me what you do know. Okay? One thing at a time.
So, we parked. We walked up into the woods, past the blasted ruins of the Hellfire Club. And behind there we found this ancient cemetery, hidden in a little valley. It was deep and dark and damp, and it was obscured from view by this gross luxuriance of unhealthy vegetation. We went down into it and it was desolate. There was signs of decay and rot everywhere. There was this musty smell, like the stone itself was mouldering away. It was so quiet. I couldn't shake the feeling that Holly and me, we were the first living creatures to have been there, to invade that lethal silence in centuries. It was haunting.
And then what happened?
We walked on into that necropolis. It was so dark. There was this fog that seemed to emanate up from the graves. My torch barely lit 2 feet in front of me. It was like walking through some ancient primordial forest. There was shadows and shades looming all around us. Every now and again, one would emerge from the fog to reveal itself as a tomb or a spire. We walked and walked until we came to this tumbled-down chapel. And Holly held up a hand to stop me. We put down our burdens, and I began setting up the laptop, and she unraveled the wire she had around her.
What did you have a wire for?
It's like a telephone, almost like one of those old cup and string phones. Splunkers and cave divers use them. So the idea is that you have a hard line and one receiver can go underground and you can still talk to someone on the surface. It was my idea to hook it up to the laptop because that way we could record Holly's findings,
Okay,
for
okay.
science.
I'm sorry to interrupt. You had set up your computer equipment. Continue from there.
So, once we had done that, Holly broke out the shovels, and there was this mound in front of the chapel, and we started clearing it. We started clearing away the centuries of rotten weeds, and after a bit of work, we unveiled 3 large rectangular granite slabs that were hidden there. Holly took a step back, and she took out that fucking book again, and started flicking through it and making mental calculations. And then she gestured me to the middle one. And we got our shovels and together we started trying to pry it open. But we couldn't move it. We just kept slipping in this loose black soil. We should have given up. We should have given up then and gone home. But we didn't. We kept trying and together with our combined strength we managed to crack it. Just enough. Just enough to tilt it to one side and topple it off.
And what was in there?
It was a fucking abyss. It was just black, and out of it rushed this noxious vapor. I was sick, and Holly began gagging. We had to step back away from it. After a couple of moments, we managed to gather our breath, and we approached it again. The vapors, they dissipated a bit. And when I shone my torch down into it, it wasn't a grave or a hollow with goods in it. It was a staircase. It was a staircase cut right out of the raw stone, leading down further than my torch could shine. The steps were slick with some black slime that seemed to be bubbling up, and the walls were encrusted with mold and filth. It was then that I can remember Holly speaking for the first time that evening.
And what did she say?
She apologized. She apologized coldly and matter-of-factly. She said that someone with my disposition, someone as sensitive as me, I wouldn't last down there. The things I'd see, the things we'd have to do, it would kill me or drive me mad or worse.
And how did that make you feel?
Bad.
Angry?
Yeah. No, look, more desperately anxious and disappointed. I wanted to go down with her. I told her, look, the computer's set up. No one's been here in fucking centuries. No one's going to touch it. She wouldn't hear of it. She said that if I insisted, she'd call the whole damn thing off. I should have let her. I should have let her call the whole damn thing off. But I didn't. I relented. She said that this was her thing to do. This was her thing to do, and she did.
What did she do?
She wrapped the phone wire back around her and she picked up her torch. As I was setting up the laptop on a gravestone, she took my hand in hers and she squeezed it, and she had this look in her eye. And then she nodded her head and turned around and walked into the blackness. I could see her for a while, the bob of the light of her torch, and the rustle of the wire as she laid it behind her. Then, I don't know, she must have turned a corner because the light just blinked out, but I could still hear the rustle for a moment, and then that was gone too, and I was alone.
And that was the last time you had contact with Miss Warren?
I waited. I sat there for hours. I sat there for hours in that damp silence. Out of the corner of my eye the whole time, there was these impossible shadows flicking between the tombs. Whole fucking processions of them marching out of the yawning maws of mausoleums. I waited and I waited, and then the phone crackled to life. I screamed at the laptop, half impatient, half just fucking terrified. And it was Holly. And she described to me how the stairs went down and down, and how eventually the rough stone gave way to ancient pillars and millennia old engravings of the heat and the stench. And then she was gone, and I was alone again.
And how did she sound?
Excited at first, but then scared, I guess. There was a twinge to her voice I don't think I've ever heard before.
And that was the last time you had contact with Miss Warren? Did you speak to Miss Warren again?
She told me to go. She told me to put the stone back and leave.
And did you? Alright. I've had about enough of this. I've had enough of your flowery Trinity fucking language. You haven't told me anything that I can use.
I've told you the truth.
You have not told me the truth. What happened to Holly? Alright. Mr. Carter, this morning, Gardaí in Rathfarnham found what they believe to be your laptop in a ditch on the R117. Forensics have managed to extract a partial audio file from the laptop. Would you like to hear it?
No.
Please play recording 1A. Thank you.
Please, Brian. Don't. Leave me, Brian.
I've heard enough. Mr. Carter, I am charging you with murder under the Criminal Code 2000.
Detective Flanagan, you're needed in meeting room 1 immediately. They've found Holly Warren, alive.
Don't move. Don't you fucking move. I'm not done with you.
Brian, it's all gone to shit. I've done something terrible. I don't think I'll last much longer.
Holly, what the hell's going on? Are you okay?
Please, Brian, you have to listen to me now. You need to put the stone back and go.
What the fuck?
You have to go.
I'm coming for you now.
No! I can't let you do that. Brian, I know you love me. You followed me into this.
Of course I love you. I'm coming for you now.
Please, go. I can't let you die. It's nearly over.
Holly, just tell me where you are. I'm coming.
Don't! You can't. You have to leave me. Put the stone back, please.
I'm not leaving you.
Leave me, Brian.
Holly! Holly, are you okay? What just happened? Holly?
Oh, Holly's already dead.